Hey, I'm Decathlon Gamer, and this is the Road to the Record, where I work to achieve mastery of 10 games in a hunt for the best score of the Decathlon. If you like what you see, remember to hit that like button. If you want to see more, hit subscribe. Let the games begin. This is Draft Day Sports College Basketball 2019. It's episode 29 in the series. We are on the road at Virginia, conference rival, real life, now defending national champion. And we were at halftime with a 32-30 lead. It's now a 44-38 lead with 14 minutes left here in the second half of this one. We are late into the conference season, and we are in some must-win scenarios if we are going to get an automatic promotion for this season. 12 minutes to play now. It's back to a 2-point lead, 3-point lead, as the teams are back and forth at the moment, exchanging buckets here. And after a couple free throws, we're back right where we were, 51-49 now. We are not shooting well, but really neither are they. Both teams, same number of makes. We've had a lot more attempts. We're plus 10 on rebounds, minus 1 on turnovers. Free throws, neither team getting into the line very much. Neither team doing much beyond the arc, though we are at least 33%. One area that we have done well is we've only had 5 fouls here in the second half. So they're 7, so we're into the bonus, and they are not. In terms of foul trouble, Granbury just jumped to 4 fouls and King to 3. Otherwise, the rest of the team, no trouble whatsoever in that department. And oh my goodness, what just happened? We have a huge deficit all of a sudden. So we just went from a small lead to a massive deficit in a very short period of time. So this whole game, we have been right there, right in it, small lead, and then just like that, it is turned into a massive deficit. And in the final minute, it is clear that Virginia is going to win this thing. There you go, 75-66 was the final. I really thought there for a little bit that we were going to have it, but Ivan Chapman just went absolutely on fire there for a little bit. 13 of 19, 31 points for him. And outside of him, we absolutely shut them down and really made a game of this. And I actually thought we might come away with a win there for a little bit. But Jason Washington, 2 of 14. Boy, that's not getting the job done, is it? Balanced otherwise. They caught up a little bit on rebounds. Turnovers stayed about the same. Field goals stayed about the same. Really came down to that one player, and right down the stretch, we stayed at 13 free throw attempts. They went from 14 to 21. So free throws there in those final minutes gave them the advantage and the win. So that near must-win game comes out a loss, and we're looking closer and closer to 500 now.
You have new mail.
Alright, so after that one, things are looking pretty challenging. Pittsburgh just beat Oregon State. Oregon State rival, positionally anyway, in the standings. Xavier, another one, they drop their game to Colorado, so we might still have a chance here. Wichita State wins theirs. It's going to put them up a ways. So here are the standings as they sit right now, with 4 games left to play in conference. Virginia and Wichita State looking very, very likely to get automatic promotion. The third spot is that mark. We are 2 games behind it now. Xavier 2 games ahead. BYU have slotted in between, and then we are level with Oregon State and Colorado. Pittsburgh has dropped to 5-7, so a win here and other results could put us back into contention here, but it's looking not too likely at this point. Clint King has made it as a semifinalist. So the final, top 20, he's up a spot to 8th now, Clint King. That is fantastic that he's had such a season here. He will absolutely be a top draft pick at the end of the year. I'm glad he has stayed for all 4 years. We got Oregon State coming up, and we are well favored for that one. By the way, we only had a 33% chance of winning that game, so think we did a pretty good job of staying in it. Our other games coming up, it does look like we certainly could win these games. 73%. So the next 3, we are favored for all of them, but none of them are going to be easy. Now we have Pittsburgh, Colorado, and Oregon State, all in that middle to upper tier within the conference. I've done something brand new this season that I had not done in the past, and that comes to recruits. That was covered in the last episode, but I have 5 scholarships to offer, and I've decided to only give out 3 of them. So I already have my 3 recruits. I have retracted the shooting guard and small forward because I could tell that they weren't going to be good enough. Now, Derek Webb, his rank isn't that high, but he is a quality player, and I'm happy to have him in. But the other 2 players really weren't good enough, and I have retracted those scholarships, and I'm going to hang on to them. That's going to give me 2 opportunities. One, a chance to look at some transfers, and I might go for one if it's in that shooting guard or small forward area. But also to hang on to these scholarships for next season, where I'm only going to have a single player graduating next year, and that would give me 3 scholarships for next season. The other reason for that is I am entirely out of budget. I couldn't even make a phone call at this point to any of the guys, as I am literally that broke. All right, so Pittsburgh, huge game for us. Xavier is the one we need to keep an eye on, and they play Wichita State, so they very well could lose this game. However, they are at home against Wichita State, and they have very similar overall records. I definitely need Wichita State to win this one. We have to play for 3rd place now in the conference. Oregon State at home against Virginia, another one where that could really work out in our way. And BYU and Colorado are going to beat up on each other here. So one of them is going to get knocked down a peg. We've got to win this game, though. This is a must-win game if we are to get an automatic promotion this season. Pittsburgh beat us earlier in the year at a crucial non-conference matchup, and then since then have beat us, or did we beat them in the conference? I think we did. 71-60 though, we get the win here. Virginia beats Oregon State, that's good. BYU knocks off Colorado, so BYU is going to stay 1 game ahead of us, and that was so close, but Wichita State does beat Xavier. So that's going to make things interesting. 3 to play, or is it 2 to play? 3 to play. Yeah, 3 to play. They are out of my reach. 3 to play. They would have to lose all 3 games for me to have any chance, but we're now within 1 game of both Xavier and BYU, with 3 to play. We've got to play Wichita State next. So we had both. That's why this is such a hard stretch. So Virginia and Wichita State. This would be a huge win for us, but it doesn't necessarily mean that we're going to catch them. This is just a really, really difficult game. Looking at the final 3 here for us, what do we have? Wichita State at home. We've got Colorado at home, and then Oregon State on the road. And ultimately, we've got to win all 3 if we are going to have any sort of chance. Now, as much as I'd like to sit and watch this game, with the conference tournament and whatever postseason, which at 16-9, there's no guarantees that we're going to make it to the National Championship March Madness tournament. We could end up playing like NIT or something like that. 16 wins, still not enough. It's going to take at least 1 or 2 more wins. I think if we have 18, we're looking at some sort of tournament, but yeah, there's still a lot going on. But after 3 straight losses, we finally bounced back with a win. 2 of those in overtime, 1 of those a close game to Virginia, who's now sitting in the top 10. We've had a tough schedule, and that was such a tough stretch for us. It's good that we finally got a win, but it's going to be hard to turn this into some sort of streak here. But if we can win this game against Wichita State, I like our chances of winning out and potentially getting that automatic promotion spot. Corsi's getting 15 a game. Beasley's getting about 5 assists a game. And Tucker, 11 rebounds a game. I think that might be second best in the conference, behind King. King's getting 12.5 rebounds a game, so that's down a bit from where he was. He's about 1.5 clear of Tucker, and a lot of these tough matchups, he hasn't gotten as many rebounds as he had in the past. Rick Scott leading scorer at 16.5. That's looking good. Here's the matchup. So, of course, weak at Wichita State. That's really difficult. But, oh, look at that, Xavier. Back-to-back. They've got Virginia and Wichita State in back-to-backs. They lost to Wichita State. Now they've got to go on the road to Virginia. That's going to give us the chance we need. BYU, they're at home, but it's Pittsburgh. Hopefully, Pitt can pull off the upset on that one. And then Colorado and Oregon State beating up on each other. So we've kind of lucked out here that while we've had really tough games, so have the other top teams in the conference. Let's go back and check the scouting report with Wichita State before we play, though. Because we're at home, we are slightly favored here. 63%, though. That's decent favorability. Granberry and King both have an advantage, as does the bench. But the guards, that matchup's going to go to them. So these last 3 games of the season, regular season, will be simmed through, as will the first part of the conference tournament. Depending on who we're playing, maybe the semifinals, maybe the finals will be what we focus on there. As we are definitely under time constraints to try to finish the season. We got the win we needed against Wichita State, so the home advantage was huge for us on that one. And with that win, we've definitely got a chance. Let's go back and check the box score here. 88-73, but let's look at these. Virginia beat Xavier, so we're going to be level with them now. BYU won against Pitt, though, so we're still going to be behind them. And Colorado beat Oregon State. Box score. Granberry, 11 of 18 from the field, 7 of 10 beyond the arc. That's 29 points. Huge day for him, especially beyond three-point range. 6 rebounds as well. King, 12 and 12. Scott, 13 and 9. Washington, 11 and 5 on the assists, and and then Eric Wynn did not score, 0 for 4 from the field, but he did have 7 assists. 5 turnovers, though, meant not such a great day. Russell comes off the bench, plays 11 minutes. He scored 6 points, but only had 1 assist. Granberry gets player of the game, though. Those 7 threes. Points in the paint were just about level. Second chance points, we had an advantage there as well as on the fast break. Bit of back and forth. They never led by more than 3, though, so we always kept it close. And now, with 2 to play, here's how it's looking. And boy, it's tight. Virginia 12 and 2. Wichita State now down to 11 and 3 after that loss. Technically, we could still catch them if they lose both of their last 2 games, but where we're trying to get is BYU or Xavier to get over the top of them. Now, if we are in the lone 4th place, that could still get us promotion. So top 3 are automatic. If you get into 4th, and then one of these 3 win the tournament, and we get, deepest outside of those 3, like if we get into the semifinal with all 3 of those plus us, then we would have the 4th promotion spot. Because 4 teams get promoted, not 3. But then that puts the impetus on getting deep into the conference tournament, which could be difficult, could be scary. So, this point, Xavier, BYU, and then Colorado, and now St. Joe's after Oregon State has lost. Next game is Colorado at home. That would knock them out with 1 to play. Knock them out of contention from where we're at. So now we need to keep an eye on St. Joe's. Both of these last 2 games are must-wins for any chance at a promotion. Automatic, anyway. We are already eliminated from the regular season conference title. As Virginia has locked that up. Well, they haven't won it yet, but eliminating myself from competition they have done with just 2 games left. We will have a plus 500 record in the conference this season. Considering how much better the conference is compared to what I just came from. It's definitely no small achievement. Alright, so St. Joe's has Missouri on the road. Come on, Missouri. Knock them out. Oregon State, Wichita State. You almost want that to go either way. Xavier's on the road at Pittsburgh. Okay, that's a big one for us. And BYU at Virginia. Oh my goodness. Okay, if Xavier loses, if BYU loses, if Oregon State loses, if St. Joe's loses, that really benefits us. Wichita State, yeah, that would secure them in second. And Virginia, of course. But the target really, realistically, is to get to third. Big day in the conference. A win here and some results going the other way will nearly get us there. Nearly. We got the win we needed. 78-56. I'm not even looking anywhere else yet. My eyes did not divert. I stared. You probably already saw it. But let me see what happened here. Granbury. Ooh, oh my goodness. The exact opposite of his last game. Just 3 points. All from the free throw line. 3 of 4 there. 4 fouls. Terrible day for Granbury. He only played 24 minutes. But King, huge day. 12 points, 20 rebounds. Rick Scott had 15 rebounds of his own and 17 points, so those two had a huge day. Washington had 16 points. King gets player of the game. They only led by 1 point, so we controlled that game throughout. That is a good result for us. Now I'll look. St. Joe's loses. Okay, so that's the result I needed. Oregon State loses. That's the result I needed there. But that does mean Wichita State's going to be just about out of reach. Pittsburgh beat Xavier. Oh, yeah. And BYU lost to Virginia. So every result went the way I needed it to go. Here we go. 1 to play. And I'm in with a shout. So Virginia... out of reach. Wichita State is out of reach. So top 2 is not achievable. But here I am looking at 3rd or 4th. BYU is placed above me, so apparently they have the tiebreaker, whatever that may be. I have a better overall record, but did I lose to BYU when we played? Lost track. Where'd it go? Team schedule. Have I even played BYU? I did not. No matchup with BYU. So what is the tiebreaker? I still don't know what conference tiebreakers really come down to. But I don't apparently have it, as they are above me in the standings. We're both 12-4 at home. They're 6-6 away. I'm 6-5 away. They have a higher RPI, but I've already seen in the past the RPI doesn't mean tiebreaker, because I've been down that path before. Amazingly, Xavier is still ranked. They and I have the exact same 18-9 record. So I could be right on the edge of the rankings, but probably not. RPI is only 54. Theirs is 26 at least for them. So we're now looking at top 5 guaranteed regular season record. If I beat Oregon State, that means I'm looking at top 4. It's a road game. Not going to be easy. I need BYU to lose for me to get the automatic promotion, though. So I need to win and them lose. Apparently they've got a tiebreaker, so even if I win this game, I'm looking at 4th place. Now the good news on that, again, is if one of these teams wins the conference tournament, and I don't, or if I just go on and win it myself, right? That's the easiest path, besides getting top 3 in the regular season. I got to make sure that it's not, Xavier or Colorado or St. Joe's, but Oregon State 7-8, 14-12 on the season. It's a beatable team. Rebounding only 7.5, assists 5, points 12.5. So they don't really have any standouts. There's no huge numbers in there anywhere. Here's some entire association rebounds per game. We are still number 1 in the nation. Okay, so BYU. Let's go back to that. So the only two that really matter at this point is Xavier, making sure that as long as we take care of business, they can't reach us. But if we lose, we need them to lose, and then we would need BYU to lose. So BYU and Xavier are the only two that are in contact anymore. That's the ones we'll keep an eye on. So no head-to-head games with BYU, so I have no idea how this tiebreaker works, but it does appear that they are above us in the standings. So still a chance for automatic promotion in the 3rd and final automatic spot. And then, of course, that 4th spot still also an option through the conference tournament. All right, so BYU and Xavier playing each other. So what I need to do here is I need to win over Oregon State, and I need Xavier to win over BYU. That would put them both 1 game behind me. So we'll see this first. So I'll look here first. Do we control our own destiny on that part? It could happen. It could happen. We got the win. Okay, we got the win we needed. Come on, Xavier. Come on, Xavier. Final regular season record 19-9, 11-5 in conference. That's normally enough, but is it enough this year? It is! It is! Xavier beat BYU. That puts them both 1 game behind me, level for 4th place. Meanwhile, Virginia, Wichita State both take care of business. So Virginia is the regular season conference champion. Meanwhile, we crushed Oregon State by 26. Box score might be interesting, but no, let's just keep things moving along here. So Virginia, regular season champion. Wichita State finished 2nd. I am third, no doubt about it. I'm all alone there, so no tiebreaker. I've got automatic promotion. We are going to Conference D next season with a bunch of kids graduating. A bunch of seniors are going to be gone. Top players. Next season is going to be all about survival and not being in the bottom four. Let's take a look at who we're going to see next season. So Rhode Island, Iowa State, Northwestern, and it looks like Seton Hall are the teams that we are replacing on our way up. Looks like Auburn has the tiebreaker, it would appear. And then I'm going to get Florida State, USC, LSU, St. John's, Creighton, Georgia State, UNLV, Western Kentucky. One of these guys are probably going to go up with them, most likely, this group. And then on the way up, Maryland, Mississippi, and Washington. Coming down, West Virginia, Mississippi State, Butler, and Oklahoma. Another tough setup there. I'll need to be about 7-9 or better next season. And that's going to be a difficult ask. But, come on. I mean, you've got to go for it, right? I mean, it would almost be better because I don't think I'm going to be as good next year with all the kids graduating. So it's going to be a down year already, and then playing in a higher conference makes it that much more difficult. But it's better to be up than down, right? So we'll take it. Conference D on the way next season. Whew. Okay, conference tournament doesn't matter anymore. We're going to be 19 wins. We'll be in a postseason tournament. At this point, though, I don't know if that's March Madness. I don't know if we're going to compete for a national championship. I think we definitely need to get at least 20 wins. So, conference tournament, we're going to have to... We don't have to win it. But I think we might have to get to the final to get to the... At least semifinal. We could get in the bubble. So, at least for our postseason, we've still got a lot to play for. I can take that sigh of relief that we are getting promoted, and that was big. That was challenging. I mean, that was a tough schedule, and next season's going to get even tougher. I mean, I'm hitting that elite. We're moving up to the 4th division now. Whew. But we've still got a lot to play for this season. And this might be my best chance for a while to get something done. We're going to change the sub-rotations now. It's time to up the minutes. Now, Eric Wynn, hold on, let's go to the depth chart first. Eric Wynn, Jason Washington, both just 2.5 stars. And the bench, Lockwood's 2.5 stars. Emery's 2.5 stars. And then we start dropping off. So, what I need to do is I need to up the minutes for these guys first. And you guys can go to 70s. And we can go to 75s on the 2 stars. Just so that these guys can play through whatever. But then, on the rotations, Granberry, King, and Scott need to be out there as much as possible. So, Granberry's, 32. We need to up that to about, 34 now. And then for whatever postseason, we'll add a couple more. So, Emery... And Emery, just the last 2 minutes of each. Lockwood. Okay, so we're going to take a couple minutes away from Lockwood here. There you go, 34 now. King's already at 36. Scott's at 32. Okay, so Scott, we're going to do the same thing with him. Let's see, Scott is... There you go, Hunter. And that's 34. So bring them back in a little bit earlier in the game, less of a break. I'm nervous. I have high hopes for this season, but we're clearly not all there. I mean, we're 19-9. It's not been a perfect year, but it's been a tough schedule. And a lot of tournament quality teams have been on that schedule this season. So we've played a lot of teams that belong in the tournament. And we've definitely won more than we've lost. Just better than a 2-1 rate. Injuries, nothing good. Top 25 right now. On the 5th of March, Michigan State on top, 2072, North Carolina, Syracuse, Florida, Nevada, Michigan. There's Virginia all the way up at number 7, Duke, Washington, NC State, Oregon, Maryland, Indiana, Marquette. There's Miami, UCLA, George Washington, Wichita State. So our second place in the division is 18th, Memphis, LSU, Cincinnati, UNLV, Georgia, Clemson, Texas. So Xavier is out of the top 25, and we are out of the top 25, but we're both in that next group just outside. According to that, I should be somewhere around second round, but that's if I even get in. Players declared for draft, no underclassmen going. Clint King is a finalist, but what is the finalist list? It's the top 10. And Clint King has jumped to number 4. Whoa, buddy. Go you. Oh my goodness. Come on. Can this be the dream season? Probably not. Not 19-9, but what can we do? Come on. I'm so excited and nervous. I mean, it's like high hopes, but we've taken some losses. I mean, it feels like we could be 26-4 right now, or 25-4 right now. But at the same time, it's like it's been a tough road to get where we're at. Okay, we got a first round bye as we are in the top 4. So we'll let that play out, see where we're at. Take a quick review of those scores. I'm already on a pretty limited time depending on what tournament we're on, even though we've only watched the one episode so far. Or the one game, I mean. So BYU beats Pitt. That's been the tight matchup there on the outside in St. Joe's over UMass. Oregon State beats Temple. And Missouri, Colorado. So that gives us St. Joe's in the next round, who we've already beaten. BYU and Xavier, Oregon State, Wichita State, Missouri, Virginia. That's a good matchup again. This is neutral territory. We're not playing at home, but St. Joe's, we should be favored over them. But only marginally, 58%. It's King and Granberry with the advantage. Scott, they've got at least 4.5-star guy in McMillan. McMillan's getting 9 rebounds a game. Elliott's getting 18 points a game. Those are big numbers. I mean, these are capable individual stars. the quarterfinals. I think I need to, at minimum, be in the semifinals. We need to have at least that 20th win, and we don't. We are out. I don't think we're going to be in the. I don't think we're going to be playing in the national championship tournament this year. Huge halftime deficit. Came back in the second half, but it was not enough. We lose by 7. So 19-10. That's no conference title. And I don't think that's going to be enough. I think we're going to be out of the NCAA tournament. I think we might be settling for like NIT, CBI. King had 20 points, 16 boards, but it was not enough. No fouls, so a huge day for him. But it was still a -7. Washington, the only one with a positive, but he didn't even make a field goal. Only 2 points in this game, 4 fouls. Barely played, 22 minutes for him, so he really screwed us over because Lockwood stepped in, did what he could, but 3 of 10 shooting left a lot of points not on the court available for somebody and just couldn't get the job done. 7 turnovers for Wynn, so he's been struggling a bit as a starter this year. Wichita State, Virginia, all move on. BYU moves on. It's a good thing we got that automatic bid because BYU would have taken it over us by getting through this round and us not. They would have had that tiebreaker for the 4th. Like if, say, Xavier had it. If Xavier gets knocked off here, then it comes down to the tiebreaker between the two of us on who would have had that 4th one if BYU would have had the 3rd. So now we've got to get to whatever tournament it's going to be for us. 19-10. I mean, we'll get into one of those tournaments. I don't think it's enough to get into a national championship unless it's as a bubble team. And I just don't think... Wow! Wichita State down to St. Joe's. Huge game for them. So they are going to take that 4th spot. 4th promotion spot. They're going to get slaughtered next year. They were not a good enough team. You know, unless they have nobody graduating and everybody coming back. Don't know what that situation is, but Virginia barely beats BYU, so conference tournament. Virginia wins 85-66. So there's your conference winner, regular season and postseason. Selection show. I don't think we're in. I do not think we're in. Let's go ahead and skip show. Save a little time here. We'll go straight into what the results are.
You have new mail.
I have new mail. Do I? There we go. We're in a postseason tournament. We're going to play Providence. Let's start with that. Providence of Conference F, the conference we left behind. 23-8 this season for them. We are favored 60%. They are number 22 in the nation, really. 14-2 in the conference. So it looks like they might be the regular season winner there. But what postseason tournament is it? It is the national championship. So we got in. Wow. Okay, let's go to... what's it going to be? Let's go to tournaments. And let's go to... NCAA. Okay, so we've got Michigan State as a 1 seed here. Syracuse is a 1 seed here. Wichita State, there they are, a 5 seed. North Carolina is a 1 seed there. There's Oregon. Virginia's a 2 seed. Wow, good for them. There's Xavier, a 10 seed. And there we are. So 3 of us all in this bracket. And we are an 11 seed playing against Providence. So we got in as an 11 seed. If we can beat Providence, we'll have either Marquette or Furman. I don't know where Marquette is, but that's... They're 23-8. We could have a chance this season. Really didn't think we were going to get here, but here we are. Nevada's the other 1 seed with Michigan the 2 seed. Back there it was Florida in the Charlotte region. But we are playing in the New Orleans region, so we've got to travel. That's bad news, but this game, it's neutral territory. They don't consider that the distance you're traveling to whatever region. Alright, let's get through this first day here. Alright, NIT, Temple lost first round. Oregon State won first round CIT by a single point. UMass wins in the NIT first round, and Pittsburgh wins in the first round of the CIT. Here's second round action. Oregon State blown out by Boston College in that one. And here we go. So we've got Missouri got in. Wow. Okay. That must have been... No, that wouldn't have been Bubble. We would have seen him. Surprising. So Missouri gets in as a 12 seed, even though they're just 17 and 13. St. Joe's got in too. Wow. Okay. So apparently we weren't that far bubble-wise that I thought. St. Joe's, California. They got a 6 seed. How did they have a 6 seed? Because they got to the final? Must have been. They got to the final of the tournament, even though they lost. Wichita State, 5 seed. BYU, an 11 seed. All NCAA tournament. And then UMass and Pitt. All right. And Missouri with the upset over UNLV. St. Joe's lost Cal. Not surprised there. Surprised that St. Joe's is ranked. How did that happen? Wichita State won against Kansas State. LSU beat BYU, but that was a close game. Auburn beat UMass. We're going to be playing Auburn next year in the NIT. They were at the bottom of the conference. And they didn't beat UMass by much. So that's an encouraging sign. Pitt beat Arkansas, so they're still alive. And here we are. So we've got Providence here in this first round. Virginia is a 2 seed with Prairie View. So you can just see how high we're getting that a team from our conference could get a 2 seed. And then Xavier's got Georgia. That's going to be a difficult match for them, but that's a lot of teams from our conference into the NCAA tournament. What was that? 3 today, 4 yesterday? That's 7. 7 teams from the conference in the tournament. And only one of those is an automatic. So that's 6 teams that were selected. And if there's, 20-something conferences? 23? Right? And 68 teams? I mean, that's 45 teams get in that other way. But you got to figure that, Conference A is going to get 7 or 8. Conference B is going to get 7 or 8. Conference C, Conference D, that's 30 or so right there. So there's only about 15 more spots. If we're getting 7 or 8 as well, or 6, now, you're starting to see how close we are to the max already. So apparently, once we hit Conference D, if you don't get relegated, you're looking at potential NCAA tournament. Okay, well, here we are. So, time-wise. I should have just seconds left in the episode. Time to wrap up. So here's what we're going to do. First round, I'm going to have to just sim. If we get into the second round, then we roll over and do another episode. And that's what that's going to happen. Well, either way, I want the results. Here we go. We got the win. Okay, so that means this year we're gonna have one more episode for this year. It's gonna roll over. So we got through the first round. Virginia as well, comfortable for them. Xavier competitive against Georgia, but don't get the win. I think Georgia's a division or two down, right? We played them last year or the year before in conference. Okay, so 79-62. We'll end with the box score here, and this will be the end of this episode. So 8-point halftime lead. We add 9 in the second half. The game was back and forth for a while. They had 20 fast break points, but second chance points, major advantage there. Granberry had 27 and 10. Big day for him. King had 18 and 20 rebounds. 20. Scott 8 and 9. Solid day. Not a big day, but solid. Washington really struggled. 4 fouls for him. 6 turnovers for him. So the guards had a bad day. 8 turnovers there. But we dominated in the post. And that was clear how we won that game. Both teams about 40%. Neither team well from the free throw line. Rebounds 56-30. Plus 26 on rebounds. Wow. There's your victory, clearly. Entirely in the post, where we absolutely dominated Providence. So, we survived the first round. We are into the second round of the tournament. It's going to be Marquette. So, that's going to be a tough matchup. They are 14th. Email? Nothing? Nope, nothing yet. So, we'll check how that matchup is at the beginning of next episode. We're going to get one more episode here for this season. Not what I expected, but I suppose that can roll over into what we look at for potential 2 additional recruits coming in via transfer. I have transferred players just once or twice in this game. So it's different. But that's going to do it for this episode. I'm Decathlon Gamer, and remember, I'm aiming for the best of the best. So if you're ready to join me on my journey, hit subscribe, and tune in next time on my Road to the Record. Bye for now.